Hey everybody, this is Eric. Today I'm going to show you the nautical case from Ghostek. It is a waterproof case. It's an extreme proof case, they call it. It's supposed to resist, let's see here, water, snow, sand, and impacts. This is very similar to a life-proof case, if you heard about that, but it's a little bit cheaper. This is a little under 40 bucks. It has a really non-slip hexagonal grip on it. It's supposed to be easy to not drop. It's got port seals so that water doesn't get in. So I'm getting this case because I have kids and we end up at the beach and we end up in the pool, and I just don't want my phone getting killed. So I'm going to check this out and see if this is going to work. So in the box you have the back of the case. Don't really know what these are. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. Some kind of little wrist lanyard, some wipes. Comes with a little Ghostek sticker, some kind of rigid card with some Ghostek information. We also have the other side of the case, which makes sense, and then there's a little cutout in there that looks like an iPhone. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy case to put together. I'm going to go ahead and get my iPhone, and I'm going to line up the camera on the back of this thing and go ahead and pop it into place, and it slides around. So I don't think that that's the way to do it. More than likely we're going to have to go the other direction and drop this into the front side of the case. Yeah, that looks like a smarter way to do it. All right, go ahead and put that down, and then we'll turn this over and again align that camera and start popping this thing together. It's definitely not easy to pop together, but that's probably a good thing, meaning it's going to seal real tight. And I can feel it starting to pop into place. I can see that seam disappearing for the most part. And I think that that is it. There is a little cover over the button on the side, which I find kind of interesting. And I think that that's what these little things I didn't know what they were earlier are. It's probably replacements for that little cover for the mute switch or the vibrate switch, whatever you call it. It's got some pretty clicky buttons for the volume up and down. It's got a pretty clicky button for turning the phone on and off, sleeping and waking it. It looks like there is a little bit of a bubble in there on both sides actually, and some of that might be because I have a glass screen protector on my phone. It looks like there's a little piece of plastic here that we can peel off, so let me see if I can get that to come off. Alright, and that was pretty easy. This is the frosted clear version of this case, by the way. There's a glossy black as well. The rubberized texture on the side is pretty good. It's not like super sticky rubbery, but kind of like a hard leather, but it's nice that it has the texture. It has a little bit of nautical branding on the side. I don't know how well you can see that, but it does say nautical there. And let me see if I can get the bubbles out of this completely. Where's that card? Here we go. So one of the questions I was wondering about was whether or not it would work with my glass screen protector, and it seems like it does. So it looks like there's a cutout here for the microphone on top. There are cutouts for the speakers across the bottom there. Looks like this is the hole to put the little lanyard through. You would just stick that little thing through the hole and then loop this back through to make it tie on. And then also it looks like this port is covered, the lightning port. Let's see how easy or hard that is to open. It's brand new, so it's probably going to be pretty hard. Yeah, I'm grabbing that thing with my fingernail and yanking, and finally I did get it out, but it was a little stiff. It is easy to hold, which is one of the things it said. It's not that bulky actually. It's less bulky than I expected it to be, and it feels pretty good. I don't think this is going to be easily dropped, so yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see how it does with cables, because it only has a very small opening here for the lightning port. I'm going to go ahead and grab an old USB-A to USB-A to lightning cable, the kind that we used to always get with iPhones. Plug that in, and it seems to work just fine. It looks like it even has a little bit of room around the edges, which is good. iPhones these days, like the iPhone 12, comes with a USB-C to lightning, and that tip is actually a little bit bigger than the old tip. So let me see if this one will go in. Yep, that one seems to go in just fine. And then lastly, let me go ahead and try this big boy here. So this is even bigger for the lightning end than the previous cable. This is a Zero lemon cable, which is a really thick and sturdy, rugged kind of cable. This thing is not going to fray on the ends on you. It's really well constructed, but it has this big lightning tip, I guess. So let me see if that will work. And yeah, it inserts just fine. So this is actually a really good opening on this thing for using a variety of cables. So I'm pretty pleased about that. Okay, so one other thing I want to try with this is to see if the wireless charging still works. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on this wireless charger back here. And boom, yeah, it does work. So that's pretty cool too. All right, so let's go ahead and see if this thing is actually waterproof and sandproof. So here I am in my backyard. We have a sandbox back here for the kids that they play in often. I'm going to open this up. I have no idea what exactly I'm going to find. There's random toys and whatnot in the sandbox. I've got my iPhone here in the Ghostek Nautilus case. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in. I'm going to go ahead and take it in now and open it up and see what falls out. So here I am back inside checking out the iPhone after I've thrown it into a sandbox. And you can see that there is some sand in these little crevices. Maybe even, I don't think I see anything in the microphone hole. I've got the port cover on, so nothing should have gotten in the lightning port. However, I don't really see much in the speaker grill, even though that's open. I thought about just going ahead and opening this up, but I think what I'm going to do is test out the waterproofing on this to clean off the case and see if any sand gets in the water. Here I am at my kitchen sink. I've got my iPhone that just took a dip into the sandbox, and I'm going to just run it under some water here. See if I can get that superficially cleaned off. And so far so good. The iPhone seems to have survived that. Wish my camera would focus on it. Alright, so I gave my iPhone a quick wash down in the sink, and for the most part the sand is off. So I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a dunk now. And let's see if I move it around, if any sand comes out. Yeah, I don't really see any sand coming out, so I think it, for the most part, didn't get much into the ports, which is cool. And why don't I go ahead and submerge this and make sure that the buttons still work and I can turn it on. Touchscreen doesn't work when you're in the water, but I guess you wouldn't expect that. The point is, though, it was fully submerged, and now it should still be dry inside. Let's move this water bottle out of the way, or water bowl out of the way. Wipe this down a little bit and see if we can get this thing dried off. Okay, so it's pretty dry. Everything's still working, which is great. Now I'm going to try to figure out how to get this thing open and see if there's any water that made it inside. So that seems to be the trick. There is a little catch right there where you can stick your fingernail in, or maybe a coin, and go ahead and pull this guy back. That actually makes it pretty easy to open this up. Oops, somehow I turned on my camera, or my flashlight. And, you know, other than the water that came off of my fingers just now, it looks like there isn't anything on the back. Let's go ahead and try to pop this guy out. And yeah. In conclusion, this is a pretty awesome case. For just under 40 bucks, you get something that competes pretty well with a life-proof case. It's waterproof and sandproof. I tested that out and it seemed to work pretty well. It's a little under 40 bucks. I'll put the link down in the description if you'd like to check one out and get one for yourself. It works with a variety of lightning cables because it has a pretty generous opening for the lightning port on the bottom. It does work really well with a screen protector, a glass screen protector over it. I have that on there in case, you know, I want to take it back out of the case and use it without one. I want that protection to remain on there and not have to reinstall it. And it works well with wireless charging. So I would say this is a fantastic buy. If you like this review, please give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. And I hope you have a great day.